Palestine is a bit surprising. What is the guiding star for us as a country when we got ourselves involved in taking sides in those long-standing conflicts for independence of certain countries? And then lastly, there's a question of deployment of non-career diplomats in foreign missions, Honorable CS. This is a matter of grave concern because of the nature of the engagements, and I'm sure you've seen the jokes doing around about your visit to Rome. I don't want to go into them. I'm sure you've seen them. Because of the nature of foreign engagement, people are asking whether the people that we second to these foreign missions to run our foreign affairs should be the caliber of retired politicians and the others, that our foreign missions are dumping grounds for non-professional diplomats, if I might use that. And what is the government position on this, whether you have received those concerns from Kenyans and whether you're willing to do anything about it, whether you think the men and women that we are sending to these foreign missions are up to the task?
Senator Lelegwe.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to seek clarification from the Cabinet Secretary on failures by the Ministry to make the scholarships that are available in the Ministry public, and also the criteria they use in selecting these scholarship beneficiaries, and whether they publicize these beneficiaries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just one or two from me, Cabinet Secretary. Now, I really wanted to know whether you have a structure of movement of the scholarships from the mission to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and then to Ministry of Education, because that is where there is a bit of complaint that it's not actually reaching the right people. That is number one. Number two, there are so many opportunities that are there outside on international agreements, treaties and obligations. Some of them, they take too long actually for it to come from the missions and to the ministries. So it's good also to have a proper structure in place so that as soon as it lands, then somebody, or maybe there's a structure in place to take care of that. Now, the other point I wanted to raise is this labor outside, especially Middle East. We've been really crying about Kenyans being mistreated out there. We have tried to deal with the issues over the agents. I don't know what is the current status, so that we stop actually Kenyans losing their lives abroad and again open more opportunities outside there. So what is the current status? Have you managed to actually ensure that the policies we have are very strict, procedures are followed, the right people are licensed to be able to recruit those who are looking for opportunities? Those are the few comments that I wanted to make. But finally, the issue of globalization and nationalism. Is it affecting our foreign policies abroad? Thank you, Chair. Sorry, Cabinet Secretary.
Thank you. One of the things we'll do with my team here, I think we'll do a very nice comprehensive report to help in responding to some of these questions. Now, first of all, let me deal with the first one. Kenya's position with respect to China is that we have adopted a one China policy. And that is the partnership that we've had with China ever since, and therefore we do not recognize Taiwan as an independent nation. We believe in a one China policy, and that's the principle that has been guiding us, not just now, but to the best of my knowledge, each successive government has maintained the one China policy. and it is in our strategic interest that we maintain the one China policy. The other thing that I would then touch on is I do agree that the issue of staffing and to what extent we support career diplomats has been a major issue for us. And we have now integrated it in the sessional paper to guide that we would prefer a situation where, to maintain proper professionalism, the ratio of the diplomats should be officers who have trained and grown in the system to the ratio of 70%, and about 30% can be external infusion, because again, there's always some merit in injecting a few experienced people into the diplomatic system. You cannot be continuously incestuous, but the ratio we propose, and it is in the social paper, is 70 internal and 30 external. So we have now put this and built it into our policy so that it's no longer ambiguous. It now becomes public knowledge that that is the position. And it is our desire that this will now guide future nominations or appointments to the diplomatic service. We have also been grappling with underfunding of our various diplomatic missions. This is a fact because we have been going through fairly difficult physical positions as a country. And under the circumstances, the resource flows or budgetary allocation to some of our missions has been inadequate to the extent that sometimes some of the officials are put in embarrassing situations. So we intend to correct that. And one of the things that we have proposed and the cabinet did approve and the government of Kenya did approve is that whereas the budgeting process was placing matters of foreign affairs and diplomacy in the normal administrative processes, it should have been squarely within the security sector, because constitutionally matters of foreign are actually in the National Security Council. So we have now corrected that so that future budgeting processes will be in the context that matters diplomacy and foreign affairs. This is the first line of defense, actually. In fact, that's why we are in the same committee of intelligence, security, and so forth. We want to be within that category, and this way it gives an opportunity for higher ceilings within the budgetary framework, and it also reduces the possibility of arbitrarily budget cuts which seriously impair foreign operations. Once you're out there, there's no way you can say that your neighbor will bail you out. Once you're out there, literally, it's you and your country. And therefore we must make sure that the resource allocation to our missions is appropriate so that we don't put them in trouble. In fact, it can be a national security risk if you are to go deeper into it. Because if your diplomats are underfunded, there could be temptations. And in the process, very delicate information that could be of national security concern could be compromised.